When did the trope of doing dishes instead of paying the bill become a thing? And why did it become a thing?
Yeah, I just saw another video that brought up this point and wondered where this trope came from. And as somebody who's a huge history nerd and spent the first decade of my adult life working in multiple restaurants, I had a vague understanding of where this trope came from. And after a little bit of research, I have a better understanding of it. Now today, you're never going to be put to work washing dishes to pay off your debt. Number one, it's illegal. It goes against FDA regulations as well as various labor laws. Number two, restaurants carry liability insurance, and if anybody is allowed to come into the kitchen that isn't supposed to be there to work off their debt and they get hurt, the restaurant is going to have to pay out of pocket because the insurance won't cover it. As for the practice itself, it really reached its peak during the Great Depression when many people would go out to eat and realize they either couldn't pay the entire bill or revealed that they didn't have any money to begin with. Now, this didn't automatically mean they were going to put you to work washing dishes because, frankly, they didn't have to. You order a meal, you eat it, and you can't pay for it, that's theft. They can just send you to prison for that. However, many restaurants, which were owned by immigrants, instead just put people to work washing dishes. Because you were essentially working to pay off a debt, they didn't have to pay you anything. But also oftentimes, this was done for friends and family and people who knew the restaurant owner. It wasn't like in the movies or in cartoons where somebody would go out to eat, realize they can't afford the bill and go, oh crap, I can't afford this. Well, get in the back washing dishes. No, that's not how this went. It was really just, hey, down on my luck, can I get a meal on the house and I'll just go to work washing dishes for you? It wasn't just some rando off the street who couldn't pay their bill. It was usually somebody who knew the owner and was just doing a service in exchange for something to eat. There were cases where some random person off the street who was unable to pay their bill was put to work washing the dishes, but that wasn't commonplace. So what you see in movies and cartoons isn't exactly accurate to how things would go down, but it is based in some form of reality. So as far as writing goes, it was just easier to write a situation where your character worked off their debt instead of going to jail, which would have been the case in most situations. So while the practice as you see it in media was never exactly commonplace, it did provide writers with a way to carry the story forward instead of stopping to send the main characters to jail for an episode or two. But, as they say, all myths are based in some form of reality, and to an extent this practice was somewhat commonplace a long time ago, particularly in immigrant communities. But as far as today goes, you're never going to see this practice because it's highly illegal and it's a massive liability to the restaurant itself.